a state of peace and harmony. Just allow your breath to bring comfort to your body and quiet your mind. And we focus our energy and attention to our heart. And we envision our hearts extending beyond our physical bodies, connecting with each and every soul in this room, co-creating a beautiful, healing, holy heart. We envision from a distance our beautiful Mother Earth. And we see her in her splendor. And we join our hearts with her. We join our hearts with every soul on our planet and in our universe. And we just send so much love and appreciation and honoring for her sustenance and her gifts, her blessings, her beauty. And we just continue with each breath to see her aura become brighter and brighter, expanding and extending and touching our entire solar system. Mother Earth, we love you. We appreciate you. We are here to protect and love you. We ask for the wisdom and the courage and the strength to support you in the greatest degree of love. May we be more mindful and tuned in to your needs and all of those who walk your beautiful planet. We see. May you be healed as you continue to offer us healing. We place our hearts in your hands and know that all is in divine and perfect order. And for this, we are grateful. So it is. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Namaste Center. It's a beautiful Sunday here in Flat Rock, North Carolina, and I'm still basking in the beauty of our wonderful national conference of our ministry, the Alliance of Divine Love. And it's been great to just have all these beautiful beings converge in our part of the country at the Cayuga Conference Center. And the conference ended this morning, and I'm delighted to see so many of our ministers in our crowd today here at Namaste. Also, I'd like to welcome all of our new ministers ordained into the ministry. We have a great crew. It continues to grow and be blessed, and I'm just so grateful. I love ADL more and more every day, and grateful for all the blessings it's brought into my life and the life of so many of you all here. I'd like to also thank everyone out there who tunes in, for tuning in, number one, sharing the video, and Heidi, hello. I like to say hi, and I'd like to bring them onto the camera here. So there you go. Okay, we'll do that. So anyway, who else popped in here? Okay, Jeannie, good to see you too. But I'd like to thank everybody who contributes from afar. We gladly accept donations and keeps our Namaste Center operating and thriving and working us towards our goal of our beautiful new center on our cathedral property, which is all in Spirit's hands, and I know it's that too is in divine order. I'm going to move for just a second. I don't know if you can really see on the screen too well, but there's two lovely, beautiful beings on this screen right now. And the one on the left is a little faded out, I can see on the camera, but that is Kuan Yin, and Kuan Yin is a goddess, and our beloved Art Blue is going to be talking about his Kuan Yin affinity and his experience with her, and beautiful sacred being. I know there's a lot of Kuan Yin people out here in our group. And this other beautiful soul, the one with the dark hair, is a goddess that entered my life about 30 years ago, almost 30 years ago. And her name is Ma Jaya Sati Bhagavati. She is the founder of Kashi Ashram. It's been incorporated since the 70s. It's in Sebastian, Florida, a beautiful intentional community, and she founded it. And Ma, if you can't tell by her picture, she's a pretty radical, cool being. She's just an amazing woman. I'd say this as if she's still here on the planet, but she's not. She made her transition a few years ago. But I feel her presence just as strong when I look at this picture as if she were standing here in this room, because I know she is that large and that big of a heart. And I want to share just a little bit about my experience with Ma Jaya and how I met her. And what happened in 1993, some of us in here were members, and actually Arlene and Ellen were board members of I want to call it the Namaste Center, the Palm Beach Center for Living in Palm Beach, West Palm Beach, Florida. We founded that. It was one of Marianne Williamson's centers. Marianne had a center in Los Angeles, one in Manhattan, and we opened the one in Palm Beach. So it was an outreach ministry, and very much like the Namaste Center. And anyway, what a blessing, just walked in the door, but that's another story. And so glad to see you guys. Anyway, when we opened the center, Marianne Williamson's approach was, the original mission was to heal our relationship with life and illness. And this center was brought into being back during the AIDS crisis, HIV/AIDS crisis, which was huge out in California. And believe it or not, in western Palm Beach County, we had one of the largest HIV/AIDS populations in the country. So we too had a huge outreach. And Ma caught wind that we were around in West Palm, and she was 100 miles up the road, and had her crew contact me, and I met her at the county home, which is a facility, beautiful facility. You know, it was owned by the county, operated by the county, and it actually served anyone who could not afford to go into a care facility. And they had a HIV/AIDS wing, and they had an Alzheimer's wing, and they had wings for many different needs. And it was one of the most sacred, beautiful places ever that I've been to. It was clean, it was awesome. But I'm here to talk about Mom. She walks in and talk about a presence. I can't even begin to tell you. And again, looking at her picture, beautiful, born Jewish, in Brooklyn. She grew up in the streets, lived under the boardwalk. She was a very poor woman. And she had a Brooklyn accent. She could drop the F-bomb faster than anyone ever had. But she had a heart and an ability to connect with people like I've never seen, and have never seen to this day. And it didn't matter if they had lesions on their entire body, or if they were drooling, or whatever, or just a beautiful person, whatever we consider that to be. She would embrace each person totally and with her whole heart. And I remember, she trained me how to be of service, and she brought her whole crew, and they came down in this red bus, which it was just this like funky thing, and it had velvet in it, and they it was a little startling, I have to admit, because I grew up in a little different world, and I was not used to this. But anyway, we got to be great friends. She was an amazing being. I'll give you an example of how she would react. There would be people in the county home that would hold their Bibles. And although she was Hindu, she was very interfaith, and she had this ability to connect with people where they were. So, someone has a Bible, she would open it up, sit very quietly, read scripture. She'd go into the HIV/AIDS wing, there'd be a man or a woman very sick on their way out. These people had been disregarded by their families often. She'd crawl into bed with them, start kissing them and say, "Your ma's here, I love you." And then she'd go in and at that time many of these affected with the HIV/AIDS virus were gay men. She'd crawl in and she said, "Move over, your big homo, your ma's here." And they would just light up, and they, at the ashram, they had many, they have a beautiful lake, and around that they have shrines to all the world's major religions. And it's if you're ever in Sebastian, Florida, which is close to South Florida, stop at Kashi Ashram. They'll welcome you. It's a lovely place. They have a yoga center and retreats. There's one statue that really gets me more than anything there, and it's Jesus with his sacred heart, with his hands out, and she has it surrounded by beautiful bamboo. And when you walk in, you can just feel the presence of Jesus. It's absolutely gorgeous. And anyway, the story of Jesus is remarkable. Ma, she tells this story, and it's such a great story of how she met Jesus, literally. And what happened was, she talks about being a housewife in Brooklyn. She had some young kids, and she was fat. She tells the story. I was a fat Jewish woman in Brooklyn, married to a Catholic guy. And she used to go into her bathroom and shut the door after the kids went to bed and just gobble down food, and she talked about the oil bead, and she was getting bigger and bigger. And then she said she heard that yoga could help lose weight. So she started doing this yoga practice, and sure enough, she became very devoted. She started losing the weight. All the kids had gone to bed, her husband had gone to bed, and all of a sudden Jesus appears in her living room. Well, when she tells the story, it's priceless, because she says, when he walked in, I said, "Oh, you must be here for my husband." He's upstairs asleep. And so anyway, but he just, one message he gave to her, which really touched my heart, and it's actually on a stone at the ashram, and it says, her message from Jesus were, "Teach all ways, for all ways are mine." And that is the Jesus of my understanding and my truth. And anyway, Mom gave me a Hindu name, which I really love it. It's a beautiful name. And every time I went to the ashram, I'd love to hear her say it, Ahimsa. And so I love that name because it's do no harm. And I treasure that. And sometimes I think I'd like to even take that name on, and maybe someday I will, if I feel worthy of that name. I know the power and the beauty of that name. But we used to take carloads of people up there for her darshans on Friday nights, which were her teachings. And, they had the beautiful music, and we'd eat and we'd celebrate, and she'd make us laugh, make us cry. She'd come up and we'd kneel at her, and she'd just gaze into our eyes and melt away all of our pain. And it was a really amazing experience. But I have to share one thing that was pretty, this is a very small world we live in. And she was from Brooklyn. She was telling a story about how she was so poor when she was a kid and lived under the boardwalk. And she used to go to this butcher in Brooklyn. And she said he would slice the best meats for her. And he'd always cook it, had a little cooking oven and broil it, and it turns out so that man sustained her with food, and that was a beautiful gift. But the more amazing thing is Arlene, who painted that beautiful peacock picture, who's here today, it was her father. Wow. And Arlene was there that night, and it was, what a connection. Now, another connection that those two had, they both dated Harvey Keitel in high school. So if it were, so we can thank Arlene's father for keeping this beautiful being alive for us and sharing her gifts. Well, now her ministry continues. Durga Das, who is the son of Ma's personal assistant, Yashoda. Durga Das is the CEO, and he's doing a terrific job. They still continue to do outreach to thousands around the world. They have an orphanage in Africa. They have communities in New York and California. It's a tremendous, tremendous place. And so today I could go on and on about my mom because I just loved her to pieces. And I miss her. So I do miss her, but I know she's here. And she's just a light, and I know if you choose to tune in to her heart, she's there for each and every one of us, everyone on the planet. And what a gift and a blessing she was for me. And Arlene, yes?
The one thing she always said was, there's no throwaway people.
Yes, and thank you, Arlene. That was actually part of my talk. And no. And I thank you because I forgot it. I forgot it. So see, Arlene knew. And really, her whole ministry was based on that truth. There are no throwaway people, and she lived that. She totally lived that and honored every being. It didn't matter how big, how little, how rich, how poor, how sick, how healthy. It didn't matter. You got her total and complete love. Now, an interesting thing is she was always a presenter at the Parliament of World Religions. And I believe they were in South Africa that one year. I'm not sure where they were, to be honest. But Ma had when she wanted to be heard, you listened. And anyway,